All right. Hi, everyone. So, today I'm still full. I just had I had some food earlier, lunch. I'm still full from it. Anyways, today's session I wanted to talk about the one specific barrier to language learning. I'll go in more into that after this. But yeah, what's that barrier? Um, to kind of start off, I wanted to mention that because many of us still learn language, in other words, we're studying it, what happens is basically they teach us in schools how to, what did they teach us first? Like the alphabet or the script and all that stuff. How to write first and then read, and then speak, and then to listen. It's completely backwards. I'm sure many people have realized that. But because of that, it's created a lot of damage. Okay, I'm just going to say it out there. It's damage. You have bad habits. From the very beginning, you develop this bad habit of where the subconscious feels like, oh, you gotta think first before speaking. You gotta calculate first before speaking. You gotta do grammar first before speaking. Blah, 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 before speaking. Or not even before speaking, before the natural ability to communicate and express what exactly you want to say, your intention. So I see this a lot, time and time and time and time again. Okay? And it's normal, it's just what it is. But to be honest, you kind of get sick of it. um, but yeah, that's because we study and learn pronunciation as well, right? It doesn't work. It doesn't work because it's not automatic. Working on it makes it's a conscious process, right? You become aware of what you're doing. Great. It feels like it's, what do you call it? It feels productive. It feels like you're progressing. But are you? You really want to ask yourself that? Or are you just forcing it? Because I notice this a lot. There are people who think fast, very quick thinkers, quick studies, whatever. Very witty, all that stuff. That doesn't make you fluent. Fluency is much deeper than that, right? So many people will say this and that, this and that, this and this and that about specifically about fluency, but really, what really is fluency? It's flow. It's as simple as that. It's flow, it's no thinking, it's automatic. So it's, many people also have this, find that they lack this ability to be more so-called, like what I say, natural. But it's not a lack, it's just that they forgot how to do it. We forgot to do it because of the system. So it's nobody's fault. It's not pointing fingers here. That's just the way it is. So an example of this would be like when I've been watching Big Bang Theory again, and then it's like kind of like that. In Sheldon, there was that episode when Sheldon mentioned that he was learning how to swim on land. Okay, another example is I mentioned it in a previous video, where instead of getting to know the car and how to drive it, how it works, you look at every single part and you study the parts. What the heck does that do? Nothing, right? Second thing is, it's almost the same thing as when you're traveling, or before you travel, you think that you know more about some place just because you saw it in a magazine, you saw it in a book, you saw it on the internet. And then you get culture shock. Well, you're going to get culture shock anyways because of your awareness, your what you know from previous your experience, right? It just adds on to it though. But reading about something it's great, it could be fun, but I mean it's kind of like the same thing. Another example, fourth example would be if you are getting to know someone. Do you ask for their friendship resume, or do you just hang out with them? That's where it comes from. That's the intuition, right? So, but linking this to pronunciation, that's part of acquisition. Acquisition is absorbing. Acquisition is embodying, being part of it, being part of the exposure, experience, life. I say this all the time. And Stephen Krashen said in one of his videos, I'll put it in the link below, if I remember, hopefully I remember, that there's some things that we don't have, and some things that we learn to have, and some things that we actually like, I guess, conditioned to have or to, I guess, acquire. But there's some things that are just natural to us. That's where how the acquisition happens. It's a door from the starting from the conscious to the subconscious, or at least that's the way I see it. And it flows, right? Absorbing, listening, acquiring through stories that are fun, exciting, fun, compelling, easy, as Stephen Krashen puts it. It's that whoosh, and then once it's there, when you're ready to speak, it just goes whoosh. That's fluency. It's a flow. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Yeah. So I actually saw some website here. Because I did this when I was doing my second degree in education to become, yes, a language teacher. I saw this link, not this link, but my professor told me that pronunciation is one of those things that is a barrier to language learning. That's because it's language learning. But I actually saw this one website here. I forgot what it was about, but I kind of just like skimmed through it. And it's basically creating this planner. I don't know. The point is that there is research on it. And then I noticed that as I was teaching this, I was like also teaching pronunciation. I was like, no, I just cut that out. So I basically switched from language learning, teaching to just acquisition. So the point I'm making is that it's you just have to acquire it. So I wanted to just show that because there is research on this one. But in my experience, so working on pronunciation doesn't work. It does not work. It does not work. It does not work. Okay, if you really want to have pronunciation, do everything. Use the whole picture, meaning like be part of the experience, right? Because when it's conscious, you're just aware of it. Again, it feels like it's productive. It feels like you're doing something, but it doesn't lead to anything because it's just information. It's just information. You're just getting the facts. I've said this to other people. I said the subconscious, or when you have fluency, that area, you get, yes, the fluency, but you get also knowing. So, and then you understand. Then you interpret, which is really what it does. It understands, it problem solves. Therefore, there's the grammar part. It kind of, it makes, it's like a puzzle piece. It does it. The subconscious does that. And you remember. You actually remember. And if not if not permanently, then long term. Right. So there are several things that I wanted to add to this that I do personally. One of the things I do is music. I know many people have done this before, and it's really helpful because you really enjoy what you're doing. You really enjoy the process, right? So I have all this stuff from different countries. I have one here from this one is from Switzerland. As you can see, I have the David Archer letter here. This one's from Turkey, right? This one's from Korea. This one's from Faroe Islands. This one is American. This one is from Catalonia in Spain. This one's from Turkey. This one is from Norway. So, oh, I didn't actually show that video here. There we go. I've been showing it. This one's from Norway, so this one's from Turkey. This one's from China. This one is Arabic. This one's from Sweden, Norway, German stuff. So basically the point is you really want to just enjoy the moment. That's when the subconscious is able to problem solve and all that stuff. But that's just like with sound. This is all just sound. I tell this to people all the time. Just let it passively happen. Enjoy, right? And because pleasure leads to that. It's like pleasure is kind of like a lubricant, so to speak, right? it just allows the flow to happen. The second thing I do is when I'm online, I actually, pardon that, I go to a radio website. Here, I'll show you one of the ones I go to. When you do a search, you'll find us here. So there's this one website where they go through different countries. Just listen to the radio, let the sounds play, music as well as in there. That's one of the things I do. So that's one example. And also another thing is podcasts. So when you listen to podcasts, don't listen to podcasts. Just allow the sounds to play. Right? You can see here. So recently I've been listening to some of these ones, but we can talk about these later. But yeah, so I listen to everything. It's just all the sound stuff. So basically my point is you want to allow the experience to just happen through enjoyment. One of the things I noticed was when I was doing this, I just naturally did it where it was a natural process where it's almost like I pretended I was in that country. I pretended I was a native speaker. I know that sounds, for some people, if you're negative, if you're used to negativity, it's like arrogant. But it's not. It's like children. It's like a child. Children, when we were children, we want to be superheroes. We want to imagine. We play make-believe. And the other things are, of course, doing creative things. Music, arts, maybe poetry. I don't know. Poetry is more like writing stuff. But basically, really like being creative. That allows you to be more passive. Passive is the key word here. Children are basically passive. They're observant. They're just like, and then when they're ready to speak, they say things, right? It's not perfect because it's not about perfect. Fluency gets you there. If you miss something, if you miss a concept, most people, what do? They miss the information. They use subtitles, and then what's the other thing they do? They look for the translation. They go into the dictionary. They look for definitions, or they insist on what does that word mean? What does that word mean? What does that mean? It doesn't stick. It doesn't stick. Nothing sticks. So experience, flow with the conversation, flow with communication, flow with the experience, flow with life. So. One thing I wanted to mention was the whole process sometimes can be scary for some people because it's easier said than done, right? Little steps, little changes, or a better word is just little additions. Real change sometimes change can be traumatic, but sometimes you need that, to be honest. You need that. Right, so it's what you start to believe in yourself. That's why I mentioned other things in my videos, like try to ground yourself with doing things that are grounding, things that are like yoga, qigong, the Wim Hof method, meditation, shadow work, etc. All those things. Right. I wrote last year is that change also happens when you get tired of playing the victim. This applies. I know it's language stuff, but it applies. So in any case, I hope that helps. Great great to share with you guys. Thank you for listening. If you like this, like and subscribe. Whatever you want to do, it's a free world. I hope to see you guys later, and yeah, I'll see you guys later.